Hey, do you have fantasies about being a songwriter? Do you make up songs in the shower or maybe sing songs to your children? Do you think, wow, someday these songs could really make it? Well, wait till you hear about today's show. My name is Vincent T, and our guest is none other than Alex Forbes, songwriter. Alex,
hey,
let's talk writing.
Great.
I am so pleased to have you here. I have in front of me a book, an ebook that you have created about writing songs. And you have written some hits. Tell me a little bit about who is Alex Forbes, songwriter.
All right. Here we go. I started out as a guitarist, and that was about when I was 16. And from there, I started playing other people's songs like a guitarist would. You learn other people's songs. At the time, I was learning.
Did you have dreams of being a singer?
Oh, yeah. Singer, guitarist, rock star, all that, yeah. I mean, I came from the Beatles and Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan. These are my main influences. And so I met a friend, and she started giving me guitar lessons. And after about 3 years of doing that, some guy broke my heart, I forget. And I wrote a song. I wrote my first song. And for me, that moment was like when chocolate met peanut butter and you got a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I mean, it was going to happen.
Yeah, it was like lightning struck. And I just knew right then, I said, this is what I want to do for a living. I want to write songs. And I started studying and taking courses and writing songs.
High school days? Or?
I wrote my first song my sophomore year of college. So I was about 19.
Okay.
And yeah, so I started taking classes, and thank God, guys kept breaking my heart, and I kept getting more song fodder.
Great material.
More material, right. I needed material, and I got lots of material. And then when I graduated from college, it was LA, New York, or Nashville, basically. Wow. And since I was from this area, I grew up in Briarcliff Manor.
Wow.
I don't know if you know where that is.
Stone's throw to New York.
And yeah, so I was familiar with New York. And LA, I wasn't sure I wanted to move to LA. And Nashville, I didn't think I was country enough to move to Nashville. So I moved to New York and again started participating, taking classes, writing a lot of songs, doing open mics, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then eventually recording some of them in the recording studio. At that time, it was a lot more of a big deal to go into a recording studio. Now you can go in your bedroom, and your bedroom can be your recording studio. True. So it's a great thing.
So you pursued your dream.
Right.
And what happened first?
Well, I was taking a songwriting course, and there were about 15 of us in the class, and each week we'd have to bring in a song. And this is something I recommend for all starting out writers, is to find your colleagues, find your mates, and who are on your side. You know, a support system of some sort. Whether it's
do the same thing
teachers,
for writers.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly. You provide mentoring and all that. And so I found some colleagues. I found some teachers, and every week we were bringing in our songs and playing them for the group. And okay, well, this story of this one song is sort of funny. I was working on 18th Street and 5th Avenue, being a graphic artist. That was my way of making a living. And I was walking down the street, and this title came to me. And back in the old days, nobody had a cell phone. So I called it into a payphone. And on a payphone, I called it into my own answering machine to see if I would remember it. You know, obviously, if I didn't remember it, it would still be on the machine. But if I didn't remember it, that's also a bad sign. So I remember where I was. I was on 19th Street and 5th Avenue. There was a payphone. Back then, it was probably a dime. And I called it in, and then I started writing it a little more. And that night, I went home, and I wrote the song. And I could not sleep that night. That song was special. Out of the 5 or 6 years I'd been writing, that song was a little bit above the others.
So many good ideas become hauntings.
Yeah.
And the more they haunt us, the more they come. Yep.
It was the haunting. Yeah. And this song had this funny first line, which was, "Love is a cliff and I'm pushing you over it." And I showed it actually to a friend of mine. Wow. like later that day, and she was like, "That's a little violent." And I stuck to it though.
Love is a cliff, and I'm pushing you over
Love is a cliff,
it.
and I'm pushing you over it. And at that time, I was listening to a lot of Madonna, and I'd moved from the Beatles to Madonna at that point, and I was going out to the clubs and
Big
dancing, and even though I played on guitar, when I play it sounds like a folk song, it ended up becoming a club hit, a dance music hit.
Wow.
And if you want, I can play it for you.
Are you kidding? I love it.
All right, well. This is
good. So this is your first hit.
This was my first hit.
Wow,
and
great.
it enabled me actually to quit my job as a graphic artist and go full time, because luckily it was a hit. So here we go. It's called Two Turned On. Love is a cliff, and I'm pushing you over it. You may not know it yet. No, but you're gonna go for a tumble you'll never forget. You will not forget, 'cause I'm too turned on, I can't turn back. All keyed up and I can't cool down. Too turned on, I can't turn back now. No, 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 I'm too turned on, I can't turn back. All keyed up and I can't cool down. Too turned on, I can't turn back now. No, no, no. Love is a spark, we could light up the dark with it, but you just wanna dance. Well, I'm gonna take this matter into my hands. I'll take you in my hands, 'cause I'm too turned on, I can't turn back. All keyed up and I can't cool down. Too turned on, I can't turn back now. No, 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 I'm too turned on, can't turn back. All keyed up and I can't cool down. Too turned on, I can't turn back now. No, 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 love is a chance. You let me take it while you sit back. Play it safe. I'm gonna find someone who gives me more than just a taste. Ooh.
Whoa, very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Beautifully done.
Well,
so
thanks.
now you have this hit under your belt.
Right, one hit.
And
I
it's
didn't
a
want to
good
be
one.
a one-hit wonder.
And right, so you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You have it, and what do you say
I
to
didn't sing
yourself?
it, by the way.
Okay.
Another singer
But
sang
you're
it.
a wonderful singer.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my voice is an acquired taste, I have discovered. So for me, the passion was really in the writing.
Right.
And I don't think I had what it took, the fire in the belly, to be a performer. Although I enjoy it. Writing and performing are almost two different
especially if you're
subjects.
a songwriter. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Well, do you want to go live that life? And also, nobody seemed to want me to go live that life.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
It's a tough life, and I don't think I had what it took. I mean, I enjoy it, but I don't think I wanted to pursue that.
So you have this
path.
taste of success, and you're feeling great about it.
Yeah.
And you're hearing your song being played by other
That
performers.
was so great.
Oh, it has to be. I know the first time when I did Kissed Candy Days Goodbye, I was walking down Fifth Avenue and saw my book in the window.
Oh, it's so great.
And I was like, yes! You know, it's a wonderful feeling to feel that you've accomplished something. So with this feeling of accomplishment, where did you go?
Well, the funny thing was, as I said, I'd been writing these sort of rock pop songs, Beatle, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell influenced, and then this kind of popped out. This was the first dance song I had ever written. You know, club,
Speaking of pop.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it sort of popped out, and then I had a string of successes in that vein that were more club music, club oriented. It's a little harder to get a rock singer to do your song because mostly they'll write their own songs. So that's sort of the trick. So yeah, this led to a lot of other successes.
Now that brings the question of dreamer. Being a dreamer and feeling it. What about these kids out there who are just convinced that they're going to make it? Encourage them?
Yes. Oh yeah, I teach songwriting.
There you go.
I definitely encourage them. As I often say to people, though, in the beginning, I wouldn't go for it for the money. I would go for it for the self-expression, for the artistic fulfillment. The song as an end in itself. Same with writing a book. You know, you don't write a book so that you'll have a bestseller. You write a book because you feel a book popping out of you. Same with a song,
and
except
you're
it's a little
haunted
shorter.
By it.
Yeah, it's only 3.5 minutes, so you're okay. You can write another one if that one doesn't work out. It's a little harder with a novel. But what happened was that happened in mid-1980s. Okay. So by 1990, after I'd had a few more songs out, people started asking me for advice. And I ended up being asked to teach a class. And so, yeah, for me it came very naturally, just to encourage people.
And now what is this ASCAP Pop Award
Oh,
here?
well, that's, all three of these things are for one song, which was a song that I wrote with a great guy named Jeff Franzel called Don't Rush Me.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, it was #2.
Wow.
#2 in Billboard, #1 in Cashbox, which doesn't exist anymore. And, you know, it was a worldwide hit.
And a well-known artist?
Yes, Taylor Dane. It was on her debut album.
Wow. Wow, that is big time.
No, it was for us.
Yeah.
It was, for me, the biggest thing I've had so far, but I'm still working on it.
Have the opportunity to have these, frame the records up there.
And go to the Grammys
gold,
and all that sort of thing. It was really fun. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you did get to go to Grammys and everything?
Oh, yeah, it was really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a heyday in between, I'd say, 85 and 93. I had many songs on the charts. And for me, that was a time. But there came a turning point in my career where I was sort of, let's see, pent up inside and wanting to do more writing of my own. So I ended up making 2 albums of my own material.
Wow.
Which, you know, flopped nicely, but I have a let's say I have a dedicated following of like 9 people.
You don't measure your life by the flops, by the successes.
No.
And you have successes.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Okay, so you wrote this ebook.
Yes, and it's an audio book as well.
It's an audio book as well.
People can listen
and
to it.
you are a songwriting teacher, and you encourage people to write their own songs.
Yes.
What sort of advice do you give?
Well, I have a couple little mottos that I live by. One of them is dare to fail, by which I mean write a lot. Write quantity, because out of that will emerge the quality.
Yes.
And so I'm constantly getting people, even when they're not in the mood, even when it's like rolling a boulder uphill, even when it's really difficult, to keep on writing. And also, the other one is participate, don't isolate. In other words, staying in your bedroom and writing songs and playing them for yourself and maybe your dog is not a good, it's like, I compare it to playing tennis against a backboard. You get to a certain level, but then you can't rise above it without finding your support system and your colleagues and taking advantage of all the opportunities. I mean, now, especially with the internet, we have so many places where we can show our music. We can get feedback. We can meet up with other people who are on our wavelength. Get it out there, right? Yeah. Because there's no reality check in your own bedroom. And
a very good friend of mine, Roberta Silman, who's a wonderful writer, said to me when I was first starting, she said, Vin, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write a poem a day.
Great.
Whether you feel like it or not.
Right.
And I said, and the point? I'm not even a poet. She said, get momentum. Poem a day. And I promise you what'll happen is a poem a day will become 2 and 3. You'll begin trying to develop themes and ideas, things that you feel are important to you. She was right. She was absolutely right. And my first novel came from that.
There you go.
Because once I got it going.
Right.
So what you're saying is,
greasing the wheels.
Yep. I tell writers, write. Talkers, talk. So
well, that's another thing I like to tell my students.
You have to do it.
Right. You know. Because there's a lot of people out there who will rip you down the minute it's like if you're a gopher and you pop up, they will knock you down. But you know what? You pop up.
That's right. You
can't fall off the horse and not get back on.
How much practice did you do in a day?
Practice? I usually probably write 3 songs a week. And I'm not saying they're all good. I'm saying like
but they're
probably
you're working.
50% of them fall by the wayside within days. A lot. I co-write a lot also. I've met great colleagues to co-write with, and that to me is the key to songwriting in a lot of ways, because you have someone to bounce off. I mean, look, Lennon and McCartney, you know, Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. I mean, there's these great partnerships, Carole King and Jerry Goffin, and those are my heroes. And if I want to aspire to greatness, I can't expect myself to do it alone, and I can't expect myself to have all those skills myself. And that's another great thing about songwriting. Some people don't play an instrument, so they feel like they can't write a song. That's not the way it is.
Oh, hey, hear that out there? That's very important, because
really.
You're right.
If you're a poet, you're probably a songwriter if you scratch the surface. And if you're a player and you think that you don't write songs, we'll try connecting with some people who are strong where you're weak and weak where you're strong.
And sometimes you have to change your circle of friends.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can have a circle of friends for partying, but then you need a circle of friends for creativity.
Creativity.
And sometimes it's not the same group.
Yes, well, that's why I stopped partying.
So ideas. Where do these ideas come from? They float out there for you?
Well, I think it really, and I encourage my students and if I'm in a writing situation, we just have to peel back our truth. We have to be willing, we have to be courageous enough to show some leg, to actually like bare some part of our soul to the public. And that's an act of courage. That is brave. To be able to talk about, you know, the death of your fill in the blank. You know, the time you broke up with so-and-so. The time you made a giant error in your life that you will regret for the rest of time. Hello. I've written all these songs. You know, when my grandfather died, I wrote a song for his memorial service. When my nephew was born, we wrote him a song. You know, it's like
ideas are
it's like
right
yeah,
here.
ideas. If you interview someone, I could interview you and probably get a little bit of songwriting material out of it.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I did a workshop for BOCES, and they bring in high school students from all these different places. And the title of my workshop was Co-ed Naked Writing.
Woo!
And the whole idea was bearing your soul.
Great.
Wonderful ideas for songs and books are here. They're here already. They pile up inside of you. What you have to do is know how to go in and get those ideas and bring them out again. And you're right. I could imagine that one of the ways is to sit on the edge of your bed with that guitar and just play.
And see what comes out.
Yes,
it emerges. We're creative beings. I mean, I think all people are really creative beings. And what they need half the time is permission to express themselves without fear of being shut down or being criticized before it's ready, or you know, to not shoot people down, but to give them space to express that whatever is there. Yeah,
there's and that's a caution I give to writers of any sort. Be careful of your critics. If you go to the milkman and you ask the milkman to critique your book on young adult literature, chances are the milkman's not going to know what you're talking about. He's going to shake his head, and you're going to say, he didn't like it. I don't even think they have milkmen anymore, but but the mailman, the milkman, your mother, your brother, you have to find that circle. You have to find people you trust. And
circles of trust, I call it.
Yes, that's right. That's wonderful. A circle of trust is very important because so many good potential songwriters and book writers get shot down early in life. And they're so
afraid. Well, there's always that critical person that then becomes embedded in your mind. I call it like that voice. That voice is like, it's going on right now. You shouldn't have said that. You know, it's just, it's continually yammering on, but you have to turn it down and get to the work and actually just, or in our case, I don't like to even call it work. I like to call it play. Because once you start playing with words or with music, or once you start playing, it takes over and continues itself. It's getting over that hump of starting.
So you have to just keep at it and at it and at it. And believe in it. But you do recommend, even though people who write songs don't have to play an instrument, do you recommend that they learn
Sure.
one?
Most of the people, I work with a lot of people who start out as lyricists, and pretty soon they start hearing melodies in their head, and they start singing into their smartphone or whatever. A lot of times, if you start writing in rhyme, you'll hear a rhythm, you'll hear a bit of a melody going on.
Well, speaking of rhythm and melody, do we have another song?
Oh, sure.
I'd love to hear it.
There's one more I wanted to play, which is a brand new song. Somebody I know and love was going through a hard time, and three of us, my co-writer Noel Cohen, who's a fantastic musician and songwriter, and also a guy I just met named James Adamo. So the three of us were thrust into a room together, and the first time we tried writing together, nothing much happened. And the second time we started writing together, this song popped out, and what we had was a melody, and I took it home, and as I said, someone I love was going through a really hard time, and I sort of wrote this song lyrically from that perspective. When you're lost at sea, blown away by a stone-cold breeze, can't find sunshine there. Float your boat towards me, 'cause I'm your island, I'm your island, safe from every storm here. I'll keep you warm and get you smiling. I'm your island. On your darkest night, not a sound but the doubts inside. You won't get shipwrecked. I'll flash the lighthouse light, 'cause I'm your island, I'm your island, safe from every storm here. I'll keep you warm and get you smiling. I'm your island, no need to wonder. You won't go under, 'cause I'm your island, I'm your island, safe from every storm here. I'll keep you warm and get you smiling. I'm your island.
Wow, that is amazing. So now this is brand new.
Brand new.
Wow.
I think we wrote it at the middle of December, maybe.
Well, you heard that. You
heard it here
remember,
first.
You heard it here. That's
we
terrific.
have faith in it. We're going into the recording studio actually tomorrow with it, so we'll see what happens.
Wow. Now, do you think of an artist to fit it with, or do you write the song and let the artist find you? How does that work?
All different ways. There's no one way it works. Sometimes they say to you, "Oh, fill in the blank is looking for a song," and then we go, "Okay, let's try and shoot for that person." Other times it's just like popping out of you, and you just have to go with it.
So where does this song go? Now, what happens to it now?
Well, like I said, we'll go in the recording studio the next 2 days and record this song, and then a lot of times what I tell people is let the song tell you what it wants.
Yep.
That song wants to go in like a little Caribbean light, you know. We're going to maybe use a ukulele on it. It's sort of, the song tells you what it wants, and you try and follow the clues, like the little breadcrumbs that the song is leaving you to find where its home is.
Wow.
And then, like, for example, you know, we have a fantasy that it would become a theme song for some sort of Jamaica, you know? I don't know. Whatever. I mean, you just never know. Songs find their way in the world, and sometimes their way is is for people who love it. And that can be actually pretty great if it's the right for people.
Okay, so that's how you find songs. How do you find Alex Forbes? How do we connect to you to be songwriters? We can get this is online.
Oh, that's online at Amazon and all, Barnes & Noble, all those online places, as a ebook or as an audiobook. Right. And also, I have a site where I coach people. I coach other songwriters.
And I think we have that site.
creativesongwriter.com.
Creativesongwriter.com.
Yeah, and
great site, by the way. I've been
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. Now, future.
Future. All right. The future for me is to spread the word, because nowadays with about songwriting, I mean, I'm just like a little, what's the word? It's just where my heart goes, and so I want to give that to people. So if I can broaden who I can reach with that, that's my goal in life. And also same thing with the songs. The songs I look at like little love arrows, I'm shooting them out. So I'm just writing more, and I'm coaching more. I teach a course at NYU.
Oh, okay, that's great. Hear that? NYU.
They've got the first master's program in songwriting that's coming to life right now.
So if people wanted to take a course with you, they could
go to NYU and get a master's degree.
Wow. Wow.
No, I also teach at Gotham Writers Workshop, which is in New York City. I teach a one-day whole shebang, and I work with people one-on-one. And and hopefully you'll hear some of these songs. I believe we're having a song come on the charts in Australia this week.
So this week.
Yep. Wow. So that would be really special if that really happens. And it's great.
Alex, we're called Let's Talk Writing, and you have certainly been talking some real writing. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey.
You are a talent.
Well, thank you.
I am going to encourage people to find out more about you. Keep on doing what you're doing, because you are so doing the right thing.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts for the viewing audience?
I would say my thought for the viewing audience is take out your pen, take out your recording device,
and
turn on your GarageBand, and just try it. Pick out something on the piano. Songs are simple. Songs are simple, and they're short.
Yep.
So try it.
Yep. Sometimes it's very difficult to put yourself out there for fear that someone's going to knock you down. Guess what? You heard Alex say it, and you're hearing me say it. They will knock you down. Get up and do it again, right?
Yes.
Alex,
hey, such
what
a pleasure.
Pleasure to have you here. You were wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for joining Let's Talk Writing.